Torture in the Middle Ages was not just a form of punishment. It was theater, it was fear, and it was control. In a world ruled by superstition, war, and religious fanaticism, the line between justice and cruelty was razor thin. Torture wasn't simply tolerated, it was institutionalized, and the methods were designed not only to inflict pain, but to completely break the human spirit. Let's go back in time. In the year 1252, the Catholic Church officially authorized the use of torture to extract confessions from suspected heretics. They called it holy work, but there was nothing divine about it. One of the most infamous devices was known as the rack. It was simple, a wooden frame with rollers at both ends. The victim's hands and feet were tied down, and then the rollers were slowly turned, stretching the body. Ligaments tore, joints popped, bones cracked, and sometimes the body was pulled apart completely. Then there was the iron boot, a heavy metal casing locked around the foot. Wedges were hammered into it slowly, crushing the bones, destroying flesh, and leaving the foot mutilated beyond repair. Even a confession did not always stop the hammer. Another infamous instrument was the pear of anguish. It looked like a metal fruit, but once inserted into the mouth, the rectum, or the vagina, it expanded, tearing soft tissue apart. The pain was indescribable, and the damage was often permanent. Public torture was not unusual. In fact, it was encouraged. People gathered in town squares to watch prisoners flogged, stretched, burned, or broken. Gallows and whipping posts were permanent fixtures. Bodies were left on display to rot in the open air as a warning to everyone else. But it wasn't just the tools that were horrifying, it was the intent behind them. Torture was not always about getting to the truth. Often, it was about fear. It was a way to silence dissent, to force confessions, to control people through sheer terror. And sometimes, it was simply for entertainment. Executioners became local celebrities. People came to watch executions like they were public festivals. Children were brought to see justice in action, cheering and laughing while someone screamed in agony. And not all victims were criminals. Many were innocent. Women accused of witchcraft, political enemies, rebels, foreigners. Even children were tortured if the church or the crown decided it was necessary. Once someone was accused, there was almost no way out. If they confessed, they were punished. If they denied it, they were tortured until they did. Mercy was rare, silence was dangerous, and justice was often a lie. So why are we talking about this? Because the Middle Ages are often romanticized. We imagine kings, knights, castles, and noble quests. But we forget the dungeons, we forget the chains, and we forget the screams behind the stone walls. Torture in the Middle Ages was not a hidden horror. It was policy, it was routine, and it was power used without consequence. Remembering this part of history matters. Because when power goes unchecked and fear becomes law, it's not just pain that spreads, it's silence. This is TimeVault. Subscribe for more chilling truths, forgotten history, and stories the world tried to bury.